Happy Easter! I know I said the home renovation videos are coming, and they are. They're just taking a little while, as home renovations do. But it is Easter time and I can't miss an opportunity to do some crafting. So I've come up with 2 little Easter crafts to give you some perfect spring home decor. Just something a little bit of fun. And also perfect crafts to use up scrap materials and wool that you found during your spring clean out. So let's start with one of the easiest crafts I think I'm going to do on this channel by making some spring fabric garlands. For this fabric garland, all you'll need is your favourite spring and Easter fabrics, and some rope like twine or ribbon. Like I said, this is the perfect DIY decoration to use up scraps of fabric too. So check your stash for any strips of fabric you might like to use in your garland. I decided to cut my fabric into 16 by 1 inch strips. But you can make these as long or as wide as you like. I cut about 10 strips per fabric. But the more you cut, the longer your garland will be. I then set up 2 chairs, and then tied one end of my twine onto one chair, then loosely tied the other end onto the other chair. This is so I can extend the length as I go. Then I knotted the fabrics onto the twine. I started with a simple normal knot, but then found looping the fabric through itself looked better to me. Please hold for an emergency broadcast, as the police stopped this criminal red-handed. The master sock thief couldn't escape this time. Now that master plan has been foiled, I looped all my fabric strips in a repeating sequence along the twine, until I ran out of fabric. I spread out the fabric about 1 centimetre apart from each other to give a nice full look. Then finished both ends of twine with a big loop knot, ready to hang up for a perfect Easter weekend decoration. This was such an easy and quick craft, but I love how it turned out. This is definitely one to remake for all sorts of occasions and decorations. The themes are endless with which fabrics you choose. I know I will definitely be remaking this for other seasons now too. Next, onto some adorable little spring friends. For these you'll need 2 polystyrene balls, one big and one small. And to keep with the theme of using materials I already had, I went through my wool stash and picked out all the spring colours I could find. Later on you'll also need a few pieces of felt and some small wooden dowels. But first let's decorate. We're making the funkiest little sheep, so let's add their colourful woolen body. With the larger polystyrene ball, I added a spread of PVA glue into a circle and then slowly wrapped some yellow wool around itself into a spiral. My glue thankfully held the wool perfectly well. But if you're finding your wool is slipping, you may need to use some pins just to hold it in place while you're wrapping. I repeated the spirals in multiple different colours all over the sheep's body, until most of the area was covered. To fill in the last little sections, I cut lots of smaller pieces of wool to fit perfectly inside the gaps. Leave this to dry. I made a second sheep's body, but this time wrap the wool around the full body to give her big woolly stripes. You can decorate your sheep however you'd like. Time to move on to their heads. First I wrap the heads in a beige colour all over the smaller polystyrene ball. Then for the first sheep, I covered the back half of the head in pink wool that I had used on the body. Now grab some felt. I used a white felt to make 2 little ears, and glued these onto the head. then some dark grey to make 2 little eyes, and finally I wanted to add a little nose, but then decided a slightly bigger nose would look even cuter. I didn't glue these down yet though, but put these to the side for later. Finally, to add a little more detail, I used the same pink wool to add little spirals of wool to the top of her head. Now glue down the eyes once you're happy with where the front of the head is. Now to put the pieces all together. First attach the head to the body. I used a toothpick, pushed into the body and head at a position I thought looked good. You could glue this in place, but I quite liked how you could move the head around to let the sheep look in different directions. I then got a length of small wooden dowel and cut this into 4 10cm lengths. Then using some small screwdrivers, or anything fairly pointy, I pushed in kind of pilot holes ready for the dowels, pushing the dowels fairly far into the body. Again, I didn't glue these into place, as they were fairly sturdy, and this would let me extend or shorten the legs if I needed. Repeat this for all 4 legs. Adjust the legs once they're all attached to the body, so your sheep stays balanced. Finally, to add a cheeky grin, I used some brown wool and glued down a big smile, adding the big nose over the top to finish this little sheep. And the perfect spring companions are finished. I finished my second sheep by adding spirals of the same coloured wool on its body to its head, but go as colourful, imaginative or spring-like as you like. The beauty of using wool is the possibilities are endless. And my 2 easy but incredibly adorable Easter crafts are complete. As always, let me know what you think about these crafts in the comments, and let me know how you'll be decorating your sheep friends. Make sure you're following our other socials to keep up to date with everything going on with the house, and other videos that might be coming soon. Subscribe to see more craft videos, and the long awaited home renovation videos are coming, I promise. And we'll see you soon.